Hello, welcome. Welcome to or welcome back, that's what I like to say. My name's Georgie, if you're new here. Welcome to the channel. It's a great, wonderful, joyous time. Today we're going to be talking about books, like we do a lot of times on my channel. I thought my very first video back in the day, I think it was like 2 years ago. I don't have that many videos because I've been very inconsistent, but my very first video was rating popular booktok books. And it's been a while since I've done that kind of a video, and I think people enjoyed it. And so I thought I'd do another one because I have more opinions and lots more books that I've read and or rated. So let's just get right into it. I don't think anything else needs to be said. First one is an old classic that was, has been around the block forever. It's Red, White and Royal Blue. I can't remember, I don't think I talked about it in my last video. But I love this book. It's so good. This is one of my favorite romance books. It's a gay romance, it's a queer romance book. It is about, you'll know, like I'm pretty sure every single person on earth knows what this book is about. If you haven't read it, I would suggest reading it. It's about the President of the United States' son, Alex. I was saying the President of the United States and then I was just gonna leave it there. He's not the president, he's the president's son. And the Prince of England, the Prince of England, Henry, and enemies to lovers. It's just a great time. There's a film out based on it, and I love the film. I think the film is so good. So definitely, I gave it like it's all relative. I gave it like a 4 or 5 out of 5 in terms of for a romance book. Obviously, against other books it ranks lower, but for romance books, it's a 5 out of 5. 4 out of 5, 4.5 out of 5 probably. Let's go with that. And you should definitely read it. It's worth it. It's just a lot of fun. There's really great banter, and in the show it's perfect. They did a really good job. So that one's a yes. That one is, I think, appropriately popular on booktok. The next one, I kind of tried to pair these up with, well, I didn't, but I tried to pair them up. Like I'll do romance books first and then I have some fantasy books. The next romance book that I feel like you guys lied to, can you shut up? I feel like I was lied to with this. It was Twisted Love, and I read the whole series. You can see them, they're there. I don't read a lot of romance books, but I was trying to. These have been circulating booktok for so long. It's like dark romance, when the guy is supposed to be like dark and mysterious. He's just a psycho. He's just a psycho. There's nothing more, there's nothing less. It's not cute. I was terrified of him the whole time. There was like some bits in some of the books that I enjoyed. Like for the most part, they were just like romance books and I was like, sure, whatever. But okay, if you don't want to spoiler, no, I won't do spoilers, but like there's a spoiler that I talk about in one of my other book videos. I think it's all the books that I read in 2023. Go watch that because I discuss these in depth. But I just thought like all of the male characters in this had severe problems. And I know that's the point, but I'm not in love. I am not in love with you. I think that you should stay away from me and get some serious help. And maybe like really just go to therapy for at least 3 years. And then we can, no, actually I don't want to see you ever again. That's just the crux of it. It was a no for me in terms of the whole thing. I gave them like probably like a 1. I feel like I gave them more in my other video, but upon reflection, I just think, yuck. Also, there was just too much. I get that they're romance books, but in some of them, the smart was just like way too much. I think it was like this book or like the last one. It was every chapter. It was like a vivid 10-page intimate scene. And I was like, we get it. I know what you guys do. I know what's going on. I don't need to hear about it this much. I simply don't care this much. And some of it, I was just like, I feel sick. This is not nice. This is not for me. So that was my opinion. I'd say no. I'd say 1 out of 5. It shouldn't be as popular as it is. I don't get the hype. But yeah, no hate to the author, just not my cup of tea. The next one is a redeeming has redeeming qualities for the last one, because this is also a romance book. It's better than the movies. When I tell you the severe, and I mean severe, post-book depression that I got from this book was intense. I read it recently. I'm probably going to talk about it in another like video soon. I read this book like a couple weeks ago, and I couldn't read a book for like a week and a half after. I kept rereading it like it was my favorite rom-com and I was watching my favorite bits again. How insane is that? I mean, yes, I am clinically insane, but I'm kidding, I'm not. But I loved it so much. At first, I'm not gonna lie, I was reluctant to get into it because it seemed a little bit cheesy. Like, people said that there were lots of Taylor Swift references and there were lots of references to rom-com movies, and I just thought it'd be really corny and cheesy and it would suck. But I would trust Lynn Painter with my life. She also wrote The Love Wager, which I also recently read and loved. So she's becoming my favorite romance author on the planet. It was not, there were cliches in there, but like they were recognized as cliches. It's a high school romance. It's enemies to lovers. It's the cutest thing I've ever seen. It's so adorable. It's so adorable. And I wish, it made me want to be back in high school, and I don't want to be back in high school at all. It was so good. So this was like a 5 out of 5 for romance books. As far as romance books goes, 5 out of 5. And look, 300 pages. That's as long as a romance book needs to be. Perfect. Perfect. No flaws. And I'm waiting for my own Wes. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say about that. So that was a 5 out of 5. Appropriately rated. Love it. Okay, we then have, we're going to start with was The Cruel Prince. Actually, this is not a this is I read the whole series. I read it a while ago and I enjoyed it. It was good. It's not my favorite fantasy series, but I definitely remembered enjoying it. I'd probably give it like a 3 out of 5, 3.5. There's really good world building. I think there were just like bits in it that were missing for me. Like, I think the plot itself, as far as fantasy books go, it wasn't as thrilling as I usually prefer a romance book to be. I'm not sure why. It just didn't click as well as it did with other people. But this one is, I feel like it's appropriately rated. The guy has a tail, which I don't love. I don't love that he has a tail. Kind of makes me feel a little bit uncomfy, but other than that, it's good. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5, which is a good rating. I enjoyed it. I would read it for yourself because a lot of people really, really love it. So I think it's like appropriately rated. It might be a little bit overrated in some aspects when people say it's the best book they've ever read, but each their own. Everybody has their own opinions. Me, it was good. It was good. The next one is like a classic. Everybody is reading them at the moment, and I even missed reading them so much that I'm rereading them now because I saw a TikTok of people saying that of people reacting to them reading them for the first time, and I just missed that feeling. And it's acotar. You don't need me to talk about it. Look at these horrible tabs. I read this like 2 years ago, and look at these horrific tabs. That's just like post-it notes. Ew. I'm gonna take them out. I love this book. I love this book. I love this series. It's so good. It's just so fun. It's so fun. I started rereading it again, and I'm already like, I started it yesterday and I'm already, it's a really fun, easy read. I think it's appropriately rated. I think you should read it. I gave it like a 4.5 out of 5. The whole series is like a 4.5 out of 5. It's just so good. You have to read it. You must. It's also a world that I wish that I lived in. And that's just, sure, maybe I'm mentally ill, but it's just a world that I wish that I lived in. And that's all I can say about that. So I love it. It's so good. The next one is a fantasy book that let me down. It was Shatter Me, Unravel Me. Also, why does that sound like WAP lyrics? I've already said it, but it sounds like WAP lyrics. Shatter me, unravel me. Like, it just sounds weird. But I was really excited for this because there's like 3 or more or something. And every man and his dog talks about how good these are. And I don't know why. I can't for the life of me understand why. They were fine. The writing just does not click with me. I don't know if it's because it's in first person and present tense, which is weird. Is that usual? Oh no, that's normal. I don't know, it was just like, there were bits when she was trapped. Like, the storyline is very interesting, very intriguing, very kind of dystopian. Well, it is dystopian, like Maze Runner, Divergent kind of vibes, more than Hunger Games, probably more like Maze Runner, Divergent vibes. And I really liked that part of it, but I just, like, the writing of it was just so bizarre. There were lots of short sentences. I will not sleep. I cannot sleep. I cannot hear those screams again. That's not the kind of writing that I like. No hate, other people, it's their cup of tea, but I didn't love it, and I'm finding the books a little bit slow. Like, I'm not as interested. I haven't bought the other two. I read these last year, and I haven't bought the other ones, and I won't until I get some money. And it's not a financial setback to buy the next ones. I'll buy them and I'll read them, but I'm not at all, like, I don't need to read them. It's not weighing on my mind. I'm not wondering every day what happened to them. Julian, is that the guy? Is that the guy's name? No, Juliet is the girl's name. What's the guy's name? Aaron Warner. Why did I say Julian? I'm thinking about Julian Baker. Aren't we all? I'm always thinking about Julian Baker. Anyway, besides the point. Aaron, he's interesting. Like, he's fun. I'm excited to see what happens with him. He is kind of crazy. I don't know how people get to love him. Like, I get it, but I don't really get it yet. I'm sure that'll come in the next books. Adam, if that's his name, he's giving me major Gale energy, and I just can't. Gale from Hunger Games. He's giving just major, like, me, me, me. I'm like, shut up. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear from you. You're annoying me. And he's not doing anything. He's just simply existing. But I'm like, let's a little bit less of that. So, you know, they're fine. I gave them like a 2 out of 5. They're fine. The last one, and I don't even care. I don't care that people don't like it. I've heard lots of hate, and it made me think, like, wonder if I am really a fantasy reader, because people were like, I am the biggest fantasy reader ever and I hated this series. I don't like that, because you made me doubt whether I was a fantasy reader, whether I was a good one, whether I represented the fantasy readers well. And I think that I do. I've read a lot of fantasy, but I also just love a good story. I love a good story, okay? And I'm not gonna hate for no reason. I hated on these ones because they weren't my cup of tea. So if it's not your cup of tea, that's fine. But this, I don't have the first book. First book is Fourth Wing. You've heard it everywhere. This is Iron Flame, and I loved it. I don't care if it makes me less of a fantasy book reader. I loved it with my whole heart and soul. And that's the truth. And that is the truth. Dragons. I love dragons are my new obsession from this book. I didn't think that I would be the type to want to read about a dragon academy, but it's awesome. It's so cool. That's the coolest thing I've ever heard of. I haven't read one about dragons yet, which is surprising because I have read a lot of fantasy. But I loved it. I thought it was great. I get what people are saying when they're like, in the fight scenes, they don't know what's going on. But a lot of the time in fantasy fight scenes, I tune out anyway, because I can't see it. There's too much going on. I'm not picturing the whole thing. So that doesn't faze me that much. Yeah, there were bits where it probably wasn't like the best writing in terms of the way that it was described, and the fight scenes probably weren't the greatest of all time. But it was fun. It was sexy. It was sexy without being too much. I mean, some bits I was like, eh, but most of the time it was great. And it was just, it's great 2 books. It has me intrigued. The end of this one, I have no idea what's going to happen. I don't know how to come back from that. It's shocked me to my core. And that's exciting, because I haven't been this excited about a new fantasy series in a while. So that's the tea on that. If you don't like it, you don't have to like it. But I did. I gave it like a 4.5 out of 5. I did. Sue me. Sue me. Actually, please don't. I don't have the money. That's what I gave it. And I think that it's properly rated. And I love it. It's popular for a reason. Go read it. Go learn about the dragons. They're just the best. So much fun. Okay, that's it. Alright, that's it. I don't know if that was a really quick video or if I was just like organized and that's why I went fast. But I really enjoyed that video. I hope you did too. I hope my opinions aren't too controversial. If they are, cry about it. I'm kidding. If they are, then sorry. But let me know what your opinions are, because you are actually allowed to have a different opinion. I'm not God. I know. Oh, I know. It's a surprise. But everybody has a different opinion. You're completely entitled to them. Let me know if you agree. And if you haven't read them, read them and then come back and let me know, because I really do love listening to everybody's opinions and comments on the videos. So that's that. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you had the best time of your entire life. I'm sure you did. Have a good day and stay tuned for many, many more exciting videos. Goodbye.